What's going on, everybody? We're gonna get this show started in just a bit, and we're gonna have a pretty good time. And we're definitely going to kind of just drop in and talk a little bit about the Seahawks game and the loss there, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about the Texans and getting ready for Sunday and how the Titans, can play the role of spoiler and ruin the Houston Texas playoff chances. So we're definitely going to get into that, and then we're also going to talk about should the Titans just go ahead and finish the tank job, and that's going to be the major question going on is should the Titans just go ahead, finish the tank job, and get as high of a draft pick as possible? Or do you do everything in your power to win one, if not both of these games, and maybe ruin the Texans or the Jags' chances of making the playoffs? We're going to go over that, and we'll talk about that and more, and we're going to get everything started in less than 60 seconds.
Hope you can still go. Hope you can still go. I never ran, said no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? What's going on, Titan Nation? How's everybody doing? Welcome in to TNT Tonight. I'm your host, I'm a host, Blue Enforcer, aka The Truth, better known as Chris. Welcome into the show. I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas holiday and everything, and are gearing up as we are getting just that much closer to the year of 2024, being on its way in a few days. So I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas and got things that you wanted and things like that. Although the Tennessee Titans, in a small way gave me what I wanted and everything. And we're going to definitely talk about that in just a bit. But also make sure before we do get into all of that, again, make sure y'all share this show out, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, X, or Instagram. I will be probably doing the same thing actually as we speak. I'm going to be doing that and everything. And so, you know, I'll be sharing the show out also. So make sure y'all do the same thing, and we're gonna have a pretty good time. And so, again, make sure also that y'all give a like to the show as you come on in. Make sure you put a like in there, and also if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well, and then hit that bell and hit all for notifications. That way, anytime that I go live, you will know as well. And also download Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple podcast or Google podcast, and you can get these episodes on there as I get them loaded up. I know sometimes I tend to forget on maybe an episode or two. But for the most part, the majority, I would say like 95 to 97% of the episodes are downloaded on there. So you definitely go ahead and do that. I'll be taking care of some of that tonight and in the morning. So we would definitely have that as well. So definitely go ahead and make sure you download that. So if you miss any part, you can go back and listen as well. And also, I definitely want to give a shout out to the Titans fan club of Memphis as well. I know I wasn't able to be with them this week because I had company, and also I had to have do some extra work late on Sunday morning, so I was not able to be able to have everything ready to ship out and go in time before the game started. So to everybody, at the Titan fan club of Memphis, it wasn't that I didn't want to be there. I did. I just was unable to get everything so that I can be there. So, again, I apologize all the Titans fan club of Memphis. Hopefully, y'all forgive me. I'm definitely going to be there this Sunday as well. So, let's go ahead and get into Seahawks game. I know we got some people come on and easy pickers up first. It says, at this point, I don't care what they do, it's over. They like help plays, man. It's been a while, man. Merry Christmas to you as well. This is coming in. Sunshine Lavender, Christmas Smith coming in. Which means Happy Kwanzaa. And that is the second day of Kwanzaa. So Happy Kwanzaa. Celebrating the holiday. If I forgot Hanukkah, Jewish descent, and everything. So we're definitely not gonna anybody anything like that. So good family friendly show. We like show love to everybody. It's huge. Meaning that when we lost, it was a good thing. So you said happy Kwanzaa. Actually, well, I think I was going to say this will be the last year to the night of 2023, which it is. 2023 will be Sunday. And then next week, season finale against Jackson. First show of 2024. So, looking for hopefully. Okay. Thank y'all for that. I know sometimes we have to do that, but I know y'all are used to it by now, but and it's probably not a good thing, but we make it through anyway. So we keep the show going. Hey, live show. But hopefully everybody, has had a good holiday and everything, and we're not gonna forget anybody or anything like that. So I know it gets a little it can be a little irritating. Trust me, I know. But again, this is the last TNT tonight of 2023, and then next week we'll have the first TNT live of 2024. Definitely coming up. So we're definitely going to be tuning into that. If I sound like Kane, I'd be like, yes, that show is good. So I definitely wouldn't mind doing that. I mean, you know, Of course, Kane ended up being mayor of Knox County in Knoxville. So, um, Luke says, I got Spider Man 2 and Modern Warfare 3. I might give you a couple of games myself in the next few days. So, I might be definitely doing that. But let's talk about this game that happened since we did not do a TNT post game. Let's just quickly talk about this game. Seahawks come back to defeat the Tennessee Titans 20-17. Where for the most part, the Tennessee Titans actually controlled most of the game. And it just seemed like the Titans decided at times to just sit on a lead and just think they could just run it out, and everything. But, we all know that Mike Vrabel is the type of coach. He's not flashy by any means. And, yes, the Tennessee Titans are always a tough, gritty football team. And one thing they like to do is they depend so much on the running game. And, they led, 10-3 at halftime, led 10-6 going into the fourth quarter. And, this is Vrabel's type of game. This is Vrabel likes to win games 10-6, 13-10, 17-13. Those are his type of games, and everything. He's not the type that wants to get in a shootout. He's not the type that wants to just score a bunch of points. He figured, I'm up 10-3 at the half. We can sit on this. We can sit on this lead and just try to run the clock out. And again, this playing not to lose mentality has cost them. And as AC Mick has spoken of, 7 one-score losses this season. You have lost 7 games by 1 score or less. That means a touchdown or less. Like, you are in these games. And some wonder, is it that the coaches have a good scheme and then at the end the players don't execute at the end? Or is it that the players play well and then the coaches screw up later? So, I don't know what to think of the whole plan, but it didn't exactly go well. I mean, it just seemed like as the game going, Derrick Henry had a very good day, and I'm going to bring up some stats in a second underneath. So we're going to have that on the bottom ticker. And, again, Titans started off good, kept Seattle at bay. Derrick Henry was running well. He had a nice game. He had a nice game of 19 carries, 19 carries, 88 yards. 19 carries, 88 yards, got a rushing touchdown. That gave the Titans back the lead late. And then he also threw his 3rd touchdown pass, I believe, of the season as well. So, let me make sure of that. It's either 3 or 2 that he's thrown this year. Okay, I'm sorry. He's thrown 2 TD passes this year. He's thrown 4 in his career. He's thrown 4 touchdown passes in his career. And so I'm trying to actually get a confirmation. Yeah, he has 4 career touchdown passes, 2 this season. And so Derrick Henry showed he can do it all and is amazing at it. And I just, Derrick Henry did everything he could to win the game despite maybe not having the greatest offensive line in the world and not really having the best quarterback either. And so offensively, I thought Derrick Henry ran the ball. This was a good game where, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so running the ball was very beneficial to the Tennessee Titans. Only problem was when it was time to pass the ball, it wasn't all that great. You didn't get DeAndre Hopkins as involved as you should. You don't get Treylon Burks involved at all, although you did do a good job of getting the ball to Chig, who has definitely improved over the last few weeks. And so the fact that Chig had as many targets, 7, and got 6 catches, at he got the same amount of targets as Treylon Burks and DeAndre Hopkins combined. Burks and Hopkins together had 7 targets. Chig had 7 on his own. And this whole thing where Vrabel will say, well, we don't scheme to get specific players the ball. We don't scheme to, give plays to specific player. I'm like, then what kind of coach are you if you're not going to do that? I'm like, every other team in the league tries to get their best players the ball. In this instance, it should be Henry, Hopkins, Burks, sprinkle a little Spears and Chig in there. That should be it. But again, Vrabel knows more than everybody else, as usual, and it ended up costing you because they basically tried to run the ball, and when they got a lead, they tried to sit on it and run it till the time comes out, which I was kind of mad at Seattle that they didn't really attack us more than they did, which they did attack us in the fourth quarter, which was something. Defensively, I think we got after Geno pretty good at a clip. Arden Key and Harold Landry each had sacks. And then Danico Autry got another half a sack, which gives them 11.5 on the year. And then Landry's at 9.5. So we're about to possibly have 2 Titans over 10 sacks in a season, which would be something we haven't really just had a lot of. But what the Seahawks did not do much in the first half, they did do in the second half. They went to the trio, to Lockett, to Jackson Smith-Njigba, and to DK Metcalf late in the game. And Geno got 2 touchdown passes late that helped spring them free and help them come back. So, again, the Titans have had a game where they had a lead and was able to lose and lost the lead late. So, we've seen this. We've all read this book way too many times. We've seen this movie way too many times. And it never changes. It never fails. And it just seems that for some reason, Mike Vrabel doesn't know how to keep his foot on the gas and doesn't know how to just, when you got a team on the edge of the cliff, you just push them off and end it. Instead, you allow teams to hang around, and when you allow teams to hang around, when you play not to lose, that's what's happening. You lose. Let's see. Derek says, so are we still half-assing the tank since week 4, still or not? I mean, I think the tank is on. I think Vrabel's going to try to half-ass it. Yeah. Because, pride. Vrabel has a lot of pride if nobody else does. And I was hearing that a little bit on the radio and on some shows. Vrabel's pride and, and it's just me. Vrabel's pride and it's just, we got to find a way to win. Yeah, I mean, yes. Would you like to see Levis get some success and some wins? Yes. But do you want to do it where it hurts your draft stock and it hurts where you could potentially get a blue chip player? No. And we'll talk about this when we go into the Texans. I'd like to see a scenario where Will Levis has a really good game and the Titans still find a way to lose. That way you kind of get the best of both. Levis performs well, but the defense can't hold it, and we don't know how this team is going to look going into that game. Philip says, yes, Vrabel-led team will be in every game and have a chance to win. But downside, this game plan keeps their opponent in the game too. Our players aren't good enough to win with little margin. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Volcano says Levis versus Strauss will be fun. And I agree. I think that's what I think everybody's going to want to see, Levis versus Stroud. That's going to be something. Mims said that man needs to go on top. and I talked to Ms. Mills on Christmas, and I told her, like I've said to all of y'all, I'm like, you got to watch this thing with an open mind, and you can't be mad when they lose. Just kind of expect it. That's what I've done. I expect this. It's typical. Until they decide it's time to get a new coach, which I was listening to Robbie and Rexroad earlier, and they were actually talking about Vrabel's situation where, for the first time, it seems like Paul is like, it's probably not going to happen, but it could. Like, I think he gave like 25%, maybe 15 to 25% chance that Miss Amy maybe fires Vrabel. And then, of course, Rexroad only said like 3%. Like, Rexroad and some others are Vrabel apologists. Like, they're not going to ever want to go against Vrabel. I don't know if they're afraid of him or intimidated by him. I know Vrabel looks intimidating. But, and again, I don't know because I am not in that room. I wish I was, because I would attack. I would attack and ask questions. I don't care how it sounds. And the fact of the matter is, I would just keep chirping at Vrabel. Now, somebody will probably tell me, hey, man, you got to quit. You can't keep going at Vrabel like that. I'm like, I don't care. The fans want to know, and I'm asking questions the fans want to know. And I would do that. I'll be like, y'all give me a few questions that y'all want me to ask at the press conference. So I would definitely do something like that. Ms. Mim says, I wasn't mad. I was disappointed with the coaching staff. Honestly enough, that's kind of worse. Sometimes it's like, you can only get mad so much. But sometimes people will say, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. And that feeling of disappointment is worse than that feeling of being mad. And I'm talking about in life situations. So, Faye said, we got Skoronski at 10, no, 11 to be exact. AZ Big said, look like the Titans will end at 5-12. And I said that. I said 5-12. And I know a lot of other people were like, yeah, that Miami game was much needed. You probably wish you lost that game, didn't you? Because if you had lost that game to Miami, we could be in fourth, maybe even third right now. Like right now, right now, we would be in third right now. But let me see, my strength of schedule, blah, 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 blah. Well, actually, we would probably be fifth. We would be fifth most likely. Give strength of schedule, we were all 4-11. If we were all 4-11, we would be fifth. But that being third and even second isn't out of the realm of possibility. And technically, it's still not. I mean, Arizona would have to win out. Washington and New England would probably have to win out. And we would have to lose out to get to third. But I think third is still in play. And fourth is very much in play. Uh, Derek says they'll revoke your media pass on day one if you did that. You know how they be in there when you ask the real questions. And honestly, I don't care. They will not revoke. I'm like, they'll just know, Chris, you can't go crazy like that. I'm like, look, I'm just going to ask some simple questions. Just give a simple answer. So, remember, I'll be 47 next month. Got to stay here. Yes, please. We need all of y'all. So, this game was just a tale of two sides of the ball. And, you know, what happened, I heard there was a pretty good crowd and everything. But, you know, and the Titans play hard. They definitely play hard. And that's one thing that we will never question is Titan effort. We will never, ever, ever question that at all. That is something that you know, that's something that we will never ever question is effort, heart. But at the end, you gotta win. You know, you either gotta win or realize your season's over. And, you know, and just deal with it. And that is something that the Titans need to come to realization. It's over. But players are never going to purposefully tank. They're never going to just purposefully give up. You know, that's not in their DNA. And I can appreciate that, but it's time to finish the tank job. So, you know, Ryan Tannehill, and one thing I also forgot to mention, Ryan Tannehill is done. Stick a fork in him. He is done. Because late in that game, you have a chance to go down and either score the winning touchdown or kick a game time field goal to go to overtime. And you take not one, but two unnecessary, two unnecessary and very daunting sacks. Because if you do that, you've pretty much cost yourself the game. And one of those sacks, you know, happened to where you had to burn a timeout. And then the last one was with about under 25 seconds to go. You take that sack, pretty much the game is over. And there is no way out of that. So, I mean, all of that was bad. Like Tannehill, yes, the offensive line was not great, but there were some times Tannehill held the ball entirely too long. Nashville 2 says, hey, Grizzlies 4-0 since Ja returned. I agree. He has given him and have a good night, Miss Mims. Go ahead to your Bible study. But yeah, the Grizzlies have found themselves. Now, they may struggle against the Denver Nuggets on Thursday, but who's to say they don't have a chance there with at least Ja coming back and giving them some energy? So we're definitely going to see about that. But let's go ahead and get into stock up, stock down. Then we'll do player of the week and dunce of the day. So stock up, stock down. Who you think stock has went up as the season comes to a close, and whose stock has went down as this season has come to a close? And so we're going to start with stock up. Again, my stock, I don't really have too many. One is Harold Landry. I think Harold Landry is starting to come back to form. Harold Landry is starting to look like his old self. And, you know, that is going to pay dividends later because I think a lot of us thought maybe after this season, they might want to rethink Harold Landry. Like, he could be a cut candidate. But I think he's finally starting to come back to form and is starting to look like himself. And that's good because he's quietly amassed 9.5 sacks. And you know, is definitely right there at 10. So I think he's done well. Denico Autry, honestly enough, if the Titans decide to bring Denico Autry back, I think that's a good thing. I think that's definitely a good thing. You know, I would like to see Denico brought back. Derrick Henry also. You could bring him back for another year and let him break the record. Let him break the record and stuff. So I would definitely like to see that as well. So I would definitely like that. Now, Philip brings in Stock Up Chig. And that is actually a very good that is actually a very good observation there. So I am definitely with you on Chig. I think Chig has definitely come up, and I would be okay. And I think Chig has found a way to get himself better, and has found a way to, I mean, mainly catch the football. So you know, definitely Chig is on the way up. I definitely will agree with that. Luke said we still need a tight end one. Chig is at best a 2. We'll definitely see about that. Stock down, though. Got quite a few of those. First one is Trey Avery, because let's just call it what it is. Trey Avery sucks. He ain't good. He ain't good. You know, not good at all. And I'm actually sharing this out on Instagram. But Trey Avery did not do well. He got picked on late and had that pass interference on DK Metcalf, which led to the game-winning touchdown to Kobe Parkinson. And he was also in coverage when DK scored that touchdown on him as well. So, you know, they picked on Trey Avery, and I would have too. I would have as well. And that's a pretty easy call out right there. Another, Jaelyn Duncan. And I think it's safe to say now, the dust is settled. That initial pop for Jaelyn Duncan, like, man, Jaelyn Duncan could do this. Nah, that magic is gone. It's gone. He ain't that good. At best, he's a swing guy. You know, they may even try to move him inside. He will not be the answer at left tackle. And with what I've been hearing, that Dylan Radins is actually getting a little bit better, I could see where they stick with Dylan Radins at right tackle going forward. Although I will probably still draft a right tackle if you can. But yeah, Jaelyn Duncan, the magic has disappeared. And so at best, he's a swing guy, or he moves inside the guard. And I don't know if that'll be a good thing or not. That's something that will remain to be seen. Stevie BOE, what's up, man? Another one, Tim Kelly. I didn't like the game plan completely, because even though Derrick Henry ran well, you should have gotten DeAndre and Trey much more involved, and you didn't. Now, part of that was because, hey, we're running the ball well. We stick with it. We know Vrabel loves to run the football, maybe a little bit too much to his detriment. So definitely was not big on that. But I just wasn't really a fan of the game plan. You could tell it was like a, just we'll keep it low scoring, try not to lose the game, blah, 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 and all of that. That's kind of what the game plan felt like when it came to me. Mike Vrabel will always have his stock down when it comes to me because I'm ready for him to be fired. He's got to go. If New England comes calling for him, I'll be more than happy to pack his bags for him and send him on his way. And then last but not least is Ryan Tannehill. As Philip Maddox mentioned, Tannehill is well done. Hand me the A1 sauce, trying to take him off the grill. And that's pretty much right. I agree. I think Tannehill is well done. It's over. It is over for Tannehill, and he should be brought back because he looked bad in this game. He looked timid. He looked off. He held the ball entirely too long and just seemed like he was frightened. So, again, I think Tannehill is definitely done. Philip Maddox goes start down passing analyst Pat O'Hara. I can't understand why Titans cannot figure out how to get production from wide receiver 2 that's been a problem for 3 years. I mean, getting out of production out of wide receivers, period. It's taking almost toward the end of the season for D-Hop to get 1,000 yards, and he may not still get there if we play like this. If he's only getting 20, 30 yards a game, he's not going to get there. And then they won't use Treylon Burks at all, which I think is a damn shame. So I can see that. Pat O'Hara, even Charles London too. And I was thinking about it because I think I was listening to a show, and they were talking about maybe there are some assistant coaches I would get rid of. I mean, if I had to get rid of some assistants, I would say everybody except, and I would say this, I would fire Vrabel. Tim Kelly and Shane Bowen could go as well. The only offensive coaches I might keep is Tony Dews, put him back at running backs coach, Rob Moore at receiver, maybe Charles London with the quarterbacks, and that's about it. Defensively, I would like to see what Chris Harris could do with talented corners, and maybe Terrell Williams as well. But other than that, those are the only coaches I would keep. Everybody else can kick rocks. Even John Stryker, even Vrabel's right. Well, definitely, because that's his right-hand man. Definitely kick him out. Rand needs to start over and start on his own. Volcano says, you think we get a wide receiver at round 1 or a superstar left tackle? Depending on where we're picking, but I would say my first priority would be a superstar left tackle. Joe Olufashanu would be my first option. Now, the only way I would not pick either one of those two is in 2 different situations. One, if we're like at 3 or 4 and Marvin Harrison Jr. just happens to be sitting there. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is on the board when we pick and we don't pick him, Rand Carthon should be fired immediately because that would be one of the dumbest decisions he has ever made. We already traded A.J. Brown. You have a chance to get a guy that is known as a generational talent. Now I know Marvin Harrison Sr. will be like, dang, my son playing for the damn rival because I know how much you love Indianapolis. But if Marvin Harrison Jr. is on the board, that is my first, second, third, fourth, and fifth option of a draft pick. And there is no other questions to be asked. You can get tackle later. This draft is rich in tackles from what I've been hearing. Now, the only other situation I wouldn't go left tackle is if they're both off the board. Now, if they're both off the board, and let's say somebody like a Malik Neighbors, or it would be a little disappointing for me, Brock Bowers is there, then that's the way I would go there if Fashanu and Joe Alt are off the board. But mainly the only way I would only pick a left tackle is if Marvin Harrison Jr. ain't sitting there. Philomatic says, if we pass on Marvin Harrison Jr., then you know who made that pick and it ain't Rand. I agree. Which is why we need to fire Vrabel or trade him, get him out of here. Chris said, who do you think is our best quarterback on the roster? Will Levis. That's easy. Tannehill is done. They've given up on Malik a long time ago. And so Will Levis. That's the easiest one. But let's quickly go into our two-tone blue star of the week. And I think it's pretty easy which way this could go. I mean, you could go with Chig. You could go with Harold Landry. Yeah, I'll get your thoughts in here as well. But I'm going to say the two-tone blue star of the week is Derrick Henry. Simply because, like I said last week, this man is a treasure. And we need to cherish this. Just in case this is his last few games as a Tennessee Titan. We got to cherish these moments with Derrick Henry because this man is gold. Pure gold. And, whenever things change, I'm going to miss Derrick Henry in two-tone blue. I am. Stevie says, if top 5, would you trade back for a proven receiver? No, I wouldn't. I mean, the only way I would trade back is maybe if we're at 3 or 4 and there's a quarterback on the board somebody wants, and we maybe could trade back about 2 to 3 spots, and you still could get a nice load of picks. Maybe you get their second-round pick, maybe a number 1 next year, or something like that. I would consider doing that. But if not, I would not trade back for that. Donzel says Marvin Harrison Jr. is a must. If he falls to us, we waste too much time waiting in receivers to develop. True. Volcano said we need to change our scheme. I agree. It is time for a change. It is time to get into the modern era of 2023, 2024 and pass the ball more. I agree. And as long as Mike Vrabel is head coach, and to a lesser extent, not to his detriment, as long as Derrick Henry is on his roster, it will never be that way. With Tajay Spears, you can do that. But with Derrick Henry, you can't. Derek says, cherish the king's last days on the throne. I mean, sad but true. Keon said we need to change fundamentals and technique and scheme, upgrade our philosophy. Well, that's what Vrabel basically claimed he based everything on. He's like, he doesn't want to depend on talent. He wants to depend on, coaching, teaching, technique, and all that, which that hasn't exactly done well recently. I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. declared for the draft yet. Let me see. I tend to think that you're right. Right now they're saying Marvin Harrison Jr., he is not practicing. He has not yet it looks like it appears to be that he is gonna declare. He's at the Cotton Bowl. He's at the Cotton Bowl, but he's not practicing. So they're going to play Missouri. The fact that he's not even practicing, for the Cotton Bowl tells me he's declaring for the draft. We also just saw where Keon Coleman, the Florida State wide receiver, he's declaring for the draft. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But wherever we have a star of the week, we have a dunce of the day. And it's clearly easy who the dunce of the day is. I'm going with Ryan Tannehill because it just showed that he's done. He's done. It's like in any given Sunday, Christina Patniacci, who was the young owner, basically told the coach, she basically said, Cap is finished. And that's kind of that's the confirmation that Ryan Tannehill gave me on Sunday. Tannehill is finished. He's done. Well done. And even if he goes to another team, he's going to do the same thing there. Let's see. F. North Wolf 9000 says, Marvin Harrison, do you think we can land him? We will probably have to be as high as 3 to maybe have a shot at him. 3, maybe 4 to have a shot at him. There is a chance he could go within the first 2 picks. Definitely. But even if we get to 3 or 4, if we want Marvin Harrison that bad, we're going to have to trade up. And we've been hearing it from Rand and others a lot that they want more draft capital. So I don't see them trading up. Only way that we land Marvin Harrison is if he's there for us. And we know the board can change in an instant. Once bowl games are played, you got the Senior Bowl coming up in late January. And then the Combine. A lot can change. And the Senior Bowl is on February 3rd. So that week before, a lot can happen and a lot can change. But the dunce of the day is Ryan Tannehill. He's done. And so now, let's go into this Texans game because we're going on the road to Houston, hostile environment. They're already talking crap. They got bragging rights already because they beat us when we were in our Oiler uniforms. And C.J. Stroud looks like he's going to be back. So it looks like we're going to get Levis versus Stroud. Now, some guys like Will Anderson didn't practice. Malik Collins didn't practice. Their leading sacker, Jonathan Greener, didn't practice. Shaq Mason didn't practice. Steven Nelson did not practice. There's a lot of guys that didn't practice. We'll see how it goes later on this week. Nico Collins was limited. C.J. Stroud was limited, but they did practice some. Of course, the Titans have a long list of guys, too, that were that either didn't practice or were limited. Nico was on rest. You got Trayvon Wesco, Kayvon Wallace, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Caleb Murphy, Chris Moore, all limited. DeAndre got a rest day. Caleb Farley, limited participation, which, of course, they're saying he's probably not going to play at all this year. Marlon Davis, to name a few. Aaron Brewer, to name a few. Jalen Duncan. So was Will Levis. Kyle Phillips, full participation. So, you guys come back, they have a long list of injuries as well. And we'll see how the early progresses. Well, let's get into this game. The Texans, they're fighting for their playoff lives. They're trying to get in. They got 6 one is going to be a division champ, and maybe you get one wild card, possibly. So, right now, the way that it stands, the Jags will be the 4th seed. Right now, Indy is the 7th seed, and Houston is just on the outside looking in. So that is right now what it looks like. And so a lot of people tend to ask, do you want to ruin the Texans or Jags chance to make the playoffs, or do you just want to finish this thing off and get a top 5 pick? I say we need to just finish this thing off. One of these days, I'm gonna wear a cane mask. One of these days for you, Philip, I'm gonna wear a cane mask. I am. Volcano said, do you think we'll be passing in this game more because we will be behind? Probably so. The Chargers, we need the Chargers, the Commanders, and the Giants to win. Also, remember, strength of schedule. We need some of the teams that we've played to lose some games. We need teams that we played to lose games because that'll lower our strength of schedule and help us out as well. So, right now the Chargers will have a chance to win because Russell Wilson, for some reason, the Broncos have shut Russell Wilson down for the remainder of the season. And I'm thinking, you're in the playoff hunt. Why would you shut your quarterback down when you have a chance to make the playoffs? Like, the Broncos are kind of still in the hunt necessarily. Maybe they're realizing they have really no realistic chance to get in. And maybe that's why they shut down Russell Wilson. So the Chargers may have a chance to win that game. The Commanders are going with Jacoby Brissett for the rest of the season. And they play, I believe, I know Washington plays, I think, Dallas late, and they play San Francisco. So depending on if any of those teams, either one of those teams are resting guys, then Washington maybe have a chance, because also both of those games are at home. And with the way the 49ers looked against the Ravens, they look pretty vulnerable right now. So, and then the Giants are probably the least likely, although both of their games are at home as well. So, but we're back. We need the best receiver available, a player the coaches can't screw up with bad coaching. That's the problem. Mike Vrabel can screw that up. Mike Vrabel could definitely screw that up. Let's see. Donzel says they need to extend D-Hop's contract. Well, D-Hop is here for another year. He has another year on his deal. So, FaZe says, win every game. Nobody cares. No one on this team cares about a draft pick. Players may not care, but we as fans do. So we care. They probably don't. You're probably right about that. But we care. So that's that on that. But we're going into hostile territory against Houston, and we're going to see if we can mess them up a little bit. And here are the Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory in order to do that. Number one, block out the noise and the crowd early. It's going to be hostile. They are going to come with it. Because if anything, Houston Texan fans want to stick it to us. They're going to want to stick it to us. Number two, use the pass to set up the run, please. I know they won't do this because it ain't in Vrabel's nature, but that's what you got to do. Use the pass to set up the run. You do that, you have them kind of, creeping back a little bit out of the box, and that can help Derrick Henry out. And get some quick passes, slants, crossing route, quick shallow crossing routes. Something where Levis can get the ball out quickly against that pass rush, because that's what happened against Houston. That pass rush was getting to us. Number 3, defensively, we have got to do a better job against the run. Devin Singletary gashed us for 121 yards, and he nearly had the game-winning touchdown in overtime if it wasn't called back for a penalty. So they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game defensively. And last but not least, you got to keep C.J. Stroud off his rhythm. And I don't know why the Titans play this soft zone. It doesn't work. They need to play more bump and run, more press. And so they really need to do something like that. And Amar, you might be right. If Mike Vrabel loses this game, he might get fired, because the Adams family takes the Houston game more seriously than any other game. And definitely, if you get embarrassed in Houston, if you just get humiliated, oh yeah, Miss Amy might fire Mike Vrabel right then and there, or she may come out and say, yeah, Vrabel's not coming back next season. We'll let him finish out the year, and then he's gone. That could happen, because remember things that happened. Ken Wisenhunt got fired after a game in Houston. Got humiliated. Jeremiah Patasi got his quarterback killed. Got fired after the Houston game. A lot of things have happened after a Houston game. So the entire Adams family is going to be there in attendance. You lose that game, it will definitely change Miss Amy's mind. And he says, I care about that damn draft pick. Exactly. They said better plot Pop-Tart. I agree. Last but not least, don't win. Which I kind of agree with that. Yep. If you get swept by Houston, that is a big deal. That is a big deal. And you've already lost 7 one-score games. You've lost 5. You are 5-17. You have lost 17 of your last 22 games. You are 12-20 in 2022 and 2023. If you go in and you finish this season and you don't even win a division game, that ain't good. So play some press coverage. Try to keep C.J. Stroud off his rhythm. But at the end of the day, the moment of truth, I think the Titans lose again. And I think it's not even going to be close. Houston, one thing is Houston is coming off. One thing is you got to travel to Houston, lost at home to the Cleveland Browns. They're going to want to take their frustrations out on you. And C.J. Stroud is coming back. So they're going to be, C.J. Stroud's going to want to put up some numbers. So I don't think it looks really good for the Tennessee Titans in this situation. And I think Corey Curtis has said it. This is not a good matchup for the Tennessee Titans against the Houston Texans. Not a good matchup. And I mean, you may have Nico Collins coming back. And so now you got 2 possible options at receiver. And Noah Brown made some plays against us the last game, as did Dalton Schultz. They said, you're going to blame it on personnel. You can only blame the roster so much. I mean, again, He won in 21 with a bad roster, with a lot of players out, a lot of injuries, but you can't do it here. AZ Mix says Texans 42, Titans 10. I think it's going to be 33-16. Fade, I get it. You want to win, and I can appreciate that. Again, I would like to see Levis maybe throw for like 260, 270, throw a couple of touchdowns in a losing effort. I'd like to see that. But Levis is the future, and that's the main thing I want to see is Levis. That's it. So that's that on that. Before we get out of here, I want to give my last shut your pie hole for 2023. And I want to say, shut your pie hole to nobody. I mean, besides J.J. Watt, who really needs to shut his mouth about the uniforms, and Houston Texan fans, like, look, y'all got to win. You got to win. Just be happy with that and be done with it. Philomatic says, if Sean Payton wants his own quarterback, if the Broncos offer Mike McGlinchey, Jerry Jeudy, a future first in 25, and swap 24 picks for our top 5 pick, would you do it? I would probably say, hell yes, I'd do it. I mean, depending on where they finish. But I mean, we'll be swapping picks, get a future first. You get McGlinchey, maybe solve your left or right tackle problem, and Jerry Jeudy. I mean, I would probably consider it. Volcano says Vrabel will never put Levis in the right situation. And that I 100% agree with that. The job of the coach is to put your players in the best position to succeed. Vrabel has not done that. He will not allow Tim Kelly to do that. So that's a problem. But besides the Houston Texan fans and J.J. Watt, I say shut your pie hole to nobody else. I want to say thank you to everybody for a great 2023. We're definitely going to go into 2024, and we're going to try to, bring back the Truth League report, and even the Down to the T. We'll definitely try to bring it back. I didn't really get a lot of traction with those, so I will probably, go back, reimagine, maybe reinvent a little bit. Not too much reinventing the wheel, but maybe just a little bit to try to make it better. Maybe get some thoughts from some of you and for some other fans, because I want those to work as well. So, again, everybody, I think that's going to just about do it. We will be live on Sunday. Titans, Texans, we will be live. The last TNT show for 2023. Because Monday we will be officially in 2024. And then we will have TNT post game, and we'll have TNT post game and TNT tonight, our first shows of 2024. So everybody, I want y'all to go and have a very good rest of your evening. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to TNT tonight. Y'all have a very good rest of your night. Have a happy holidays and happy New Year 2024. Here we come. And as always, tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. Good night, y'all.